Good morning. Yes, we are here. This is the normal studio. There's no leaks.
Have you checked? Have you checked if there are leaks? Saw several people looking very official this morning, launching out with tools and things.
And there was also an alarm going off in the kitchen.
Ah.
So the background story is here. Last night, 6 p.m., we get an email saying, we're in trouble. The whole office will be closed tomorrow because there is a leak in a server. So of course we're like, do we do this from Phil's garage, from Angeline's front room?
Yeah.
Do we go live on TikTok? What do we do? Because we don't have any cameras, we don't have anybody in, we don't have a place to run it from. And that went back and forward till about 10:30 last night.
Later, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to bed last night thinking, oh, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do a show tomorrow morning. And we wake up this morning.
You told people on Reddit as well, didn't you? I think or TikTok. You told
That's right.
Yeah.
Monkey Man Boyce and I were on TikTok live together.
Yeah.
And so I said, look, there might not be a show tomorrow. And then we wake up this morning and we've got a show. So Angeline came running in here.
Put my running shoes on.
Because of course Chris Beecham was meant to be with us this morning. Chris Beecham isn't in this morning. So you've got me and Angeline here.
Unfortunately, you have me instead of Chris.
So let's have a look at what's coming up, because we've got more of Angeline in a very, very special tasty episode from yesterday.
Oh yes, we have loads to cover. We have, of course, the great Sosnoff and the wonderful Bat here with us. Those of you that want to see the behind the scenes, I've posted some of Rich, some of Phil, and you know, all the incredible work behind the magic. Head over to my Twitter site. We'll go over overnight action opening bell as well. Then we'll see the tasty stuff that Rich and I did yesterday.
Angeline flirting outrageously on camera with all the viewers.
One of them was a dad of Quentin, who works at the Tasty office.
Oh yes.
And I spent an entire day with him at SIBO, and I spoke to his dad, who's also a trader.
But we do have Dylan Rattigan joining us, so he will be joining both Angeline and I, chatting at 8:30. Then at 9 a.m, it's not Dumb and Dumber. It's not Tweedledee and Tweedledum. It is Aaron Bright and Martin Harris for the Macro Minute.
Nice. And then we'll have a bit more of the tasty special of Rich and myself. The most hilarious bit about last night is when I was messaging producer Phil. I was going, what's the latest status update, Phil? What's the latest? And Phil's like, I just need to know whether I need to soak my porridge oats or not.
See, that's the question.
That is the question. Our Sachs, good morning. And also Jarvis saying Rich's mansion should have a big enough room. Surely it should have its own studio.
I once did a TikTok and the TV was on in the background because Scotland football game was playing. And so I was talking about the markets, but Scotland was on the background. And it suddenly became a talking point on TikTok of how small my television was.
Ah!
Is this really this? But it was filling up the comment section, like 80 comments on whether people should have bigger televisions relative to the. There's a measurement that you can do for the width of your TV and the
Steady on, it's only 7:34.
the length to your.
Good morning. Boise asking how's the leaky server? PCMs, Wardy, Luke, own up. Mini Cooper, did you flush the toilet too hard? Is that why that happened?
Mikey 1959 in the house, as is Vlad. We got a full house looking to find out what happened in the Federal Reserve interest rate decision last night. So shall we go into a little bit of overnight action?
Yes, let's do it. Hit us with it.
So perhaps the most boring Federal Reserve that I've ever had the pain to go through.
Yeah, as expected.
As expected. All the action was, of course, in our summary of economic projections, where we can go through them right here. So he took GDP lower down to 1.4. He took the unemployment rate slightly higher. So that's a double negative to start with. More people getting sacked and lower GDP. And then PC inflation jumped not just in year one, but also in year 2 and year 3. And this is particularly interesting because this is, of course, them admitting they're not going to hit their target even in 2027. So, all right, it's the target it's a little bit made up anyway, and they get very close. But yeah, to say that we're not going to hit target, it was an interesting one.
And also, I guess the no talk at all about. I found it lacking about their outlook and expectations of what the Middle East could possibly.
Well, I said this to Luke yesterday. Before there's an actual announcement, the Federal Reserve, it's not their job to start talking about what Trump might or might not do, what might happen to the oil price, what might not. So it's unless there's an actual conflict going on that the US are involved in, which we'll find out in about 24 hours.
Yeah.
Then, but yeah, finally we got 3.9%. So no change on expected rates. So second rate cut expected there. But rates slightly higher through 26 and 27. So that was the lay of the land from 7 p.m. when that came out. The press conference, just dull. We are in an especially great position not to have to do anything. And sit back
right?
and watch and learn.
Double D still, data dependent.
Data dependent all the way.
Also, I've got some comments coming through from a senior partner at Bill Blaine, who was at Shard Capital, and he's now got his own outfit. He was saying that right now we have central banks that are willing to stand and say, well, the consequences of all these hat stand trade and tariff policies have made it messy and a bit unpredictable. But since all our models are screaming stagflation as a real probability, we're not going to cut rates. So he says this is going to be the ongoing stance of central banks at the moment.
Yeah.
Trump predictably called Fed hedge JP. What did he say again? Was it the new term I've been seeing bandied around? Stupid.
Too late. Stupid.
Yeah.
That Trump thinks he actually asked if he could be appointed to the role yesterday.
Is he going to show? We're going to expect a picture the weekend of his face. Like the Pope. This time as
Excuse me.
JP.
So, as Boise said, things are heating up in Iran. Let's look at the front page of the newspapers this morning. We've got the live reporting going on there. Steve Bannon warns Trump that an Iran strike would tear apart the US. Interesting take on it. And US edges closer to an Iran strike. Trump, you still don't know whether he's just posturing. You don't know whether he's looking for the supreme leader. Supreme leader just put his hands up and say, oh, yeah, sorry, okay, I give in.
It's never going to happen.
It's not
going to happen, not in a million years.
So this, looks like it's taken us towards the US entering a conflict in which they start bombing Iran, which is just mind-blowing that we're at this stage. And I don't know if markets are quite ready for that kind of serious action.
No.
They're starting to price things in a little bit more.
Yeah, but not as much as expected. I think a lot of this is still yet to be priced in. And then, taking a look at also the front page of Bloomberg UK, main thing there is some stocks, sliding on Middle East tensions, and also the Fed's warning. And they've also gone big with, JP there, and the Fed still seeing 2 cuts by year end. But really, I'm surprised by the, I've said this many times this week, by a lot of this not yet really factored in to the markets, is my feeling.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's okay. So if, what do we think, team? If we saw now the headline that planes are on their way to Iran or the first bomb's been dropped, which I assume will happen in the next 36 hours. What happens to the S&P there? What kind of reaction do you get in oil? Do you get a $76 oil, $77 oil, or do we think this is just going to be a walkover, a la Iraq in 2003? Is this just going to be a case of the Iranian
poll, Phil.
Iranian government is, or the regime, I should call them, is already so depleted that this is going to be power to the people. You're going to get hundreds of thousands outside on the streets in Tehran, and it's going to be more like kind of Libya ex-Gaddafi, because it's such a serious situation, and the talks that must be going on in the White House is, right, what are we going to do for the next stage? Like, if we're serious that this regime is finished, which clearly they've had intelligence that they think it's possible, then who do they put in place? Are we talking about democracy in Iran in the next 6 months?
I doubt they're gonna. Yeah, I doubt that's going to happen.
And then also, is Trump underestimating the support of the Iranian people?
Because and rightly so too. We know that they not exactly fans of the supreme leader, but at the same time they're very, very proud, of their country. Just an update for those of you that are just coming onto the show. Iran has also, to balance out this conversation, Iran has maintained its negotiating position on its nuclear program, not willing to, at the moment, appear willing to negotiate an end to the war anytime soon. But in the meantime, there are reports of the US deploying more military assets into the Middle East.
Well, this is, and so as Monkey Man says, so they need permission from the UK. So UK, big Cobra meeting last night on whether we're going to allow the US to use the Chagos Islands base that's been in the news recently for the B-52. So that's where the B-52 will fly from. And yeah, really, really tricky situation, and not one I thought that we would find ourselves in even 5 days ago.
Yeah.
6 days ago now.
For those of you that follow the Institute for the Study of War, they have regular updates on the situation. I'm just putting that up on the screen so you can see there. This is a report from June 18th there. And I hear people calling F9, FN, F11. Here we are.
Almost like you want people to read what's on your screen.
And this report here is saying that the axis of resistance, including Hezbollah, the Houthis, and the Iranian-backed Iraqi militias, have threatened retaliation against U.S. forces if the U.S. joins the conflict.
That's the scary thing. That's what you open yourself up to. Is it restricted to the Middle East? Is there huge protests? And this is a can of worms that I'm not sure we've quite thought through what could be unraveling here. And I think there'll be a lot of work going on in the White House at the moment to not just, if the regime falls, who do we want in power in the interim, but also what are we going to do if this goes wrong? And
Paul Taylor saying Iran trumps next golf course and resort.
I think that's probably gone through his mind.
Right. Let's take a look at gold as well whilst we're at it, because gold has been coming off. It's down 0.5%. Yeah, and we are now looking at gold at 3,351 there. But as you can see there, it is showing signs of consolidation at the moment, which is only normal, really. Still, that slow grind upwards still in play there, and we are seeing potentially a triple bottom there. Let me just draw that line for you. If you take a look at that chart, we could still see this potentially bounce higher if we hit that bottom of resistance and then bounce back up again.
That's a strange one for me, in that you've got a potential conflict in the Middle East that's about to boil over, and gold down on the day. So that obviously following on from higher rates for longer, tighter monetary policy from the Federal Reserve, and the algos are taking it down, but I'm not sure the algos are quite ready for what's about to
hit it.
Hit it, yeah, exactly.
And we've seen so many times this year that algos have been caught out, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not trained for the tweets and the,
Yeah, they can't read sarcasm.
No.
ChatGPT does not understand sarcasm of Trump.
Not yet.
Yeah. Right, what have we got coming up for you then? Let's have a little look at Angeline on the Taste Day Chicago show yesterday, and this is what we've got later on today's show, but a little teaser for you. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday afternoon.
Tomas, we are back, my friend, and we're joined by Angie and Rich. Thank you so much for coming in.
Look how good that looks on the screen. I like it.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Crackerjack production team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here, kind of making sure that we're kind of far apart in case these two get.
No. Never. Tom's not.
You guys ever fight on air?
Like that.
We never fight in there, do we?
Oh, you guys are like
We've had a
Jenny.
debate. We had a debate.
You debate.
Yeah.
Or she just winds me up.
I do. Yeah.
On purpose.
It's quite easy actually.
Yeah.
Tell him that his Links Africa is running out.
So that's Axe for you guys.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Vanessa said your 15-year-old son uses it. I still use it now.
Yeah.
Tell him he's got the wrong time on an economic print.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
The one time they changed PCE inflation from 8:30 till 10 a.m.
They changed the time.
They changed the time.
With the announcement. Mm-hmm.
Then, I swore, I bet my whole life that, no, it's definitely 8:30. PC's always at 8:30. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And they went, no.
Mm-hmm. You got it wrong?
Yeah.
It happens. Don't worry. Tom gets corrected all day long on the show. It's fine. You'll be fine.
Of course, that would be the bit that the producer bloody cut out. Of course it would. The bit about PC inflation time. Of all the funny things that went on yesterday, honestly, didn't it feel like we weren't even on camera? It was just the three of us, then four, sitting around having a chat.
It was, yeah. It was totally great. I was like, they were doing so well too. They came fresh off the plane, right, after that long journey, and I can tell you it's hell because they had to use Chicago O'Hare Airport, Tom was ribbing Bat because Bat hadn't had a shower. He looked like he was melting.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me.
The real joke was that, of course, Sosnoff was flying in business class because it was just him and Brittany, who organises all the tours. Whereas Bat was there with his wife and his kids. So Bat was in the back in economy. So there was, that was an underlying theme as well. But you can see all of this. You see Angeline's part when she goes live with the two gents. And that's coming up about 8:05. And then myself, when I go head-to-head with them at 9:30. So
those of you that sent in those questions about Tom and Bat, thank you very much. I did get them asked. So do watch because, and Director Terrence's question too, are those cherries real? Was Terrence's question. So if you have any other questions for Tom and Bat, for Rich and I, slam them here or send them because we've got them tomorrow.
This time tomorrow morning, assuming that there's no leaks in the office.
Yeah, no flushing. No flushing, any of you. I heard it was the men's toilet.
Stop.
Oh my God, Monkey Man, were you watching?
Monkey Man was watching.
Oh yeah, that was Quentin's dad. Oh my
Monkey
goodness.
Man sees everything.
He does. You're like omniscient.
Right, front page of the Times we have not looked at today. So the Bank of England expects to keep rates at 4.25% when they meet today. Of course, that time of announcement will go back to midday and not 1 minute past midday or 2 minutes past midday like last time. And you'll see them also keeping interest rate on hold. But what will cable do? Because cable has broken at last. We're down to 134, having traded as low as 133. Where are we? Let me get a chart up for you there. On the 5-minute chart, you can see we'd be down to 133.90 this morning. So that's, after hitting 136 all of about 10 days ago.
We're also getting a note across from the ING FX desk. They're saying that signs of euro strengthening against sterling is expected unless the Bank of England surprises with a more hawkish than expected message today. So, yes, Producer Phil? And also, Francesco Pesoli adding geopolitical risks generally harm the pound more than the euro, and the data flow has been GBP negative of late.
Right, we are at 7:52 on this beautiful morning, the 19th of June. We're going to go to a quick 2-minute break, and we've got chart of the day. What country is this? It's a US stock today. So is it in dollars or is it in cents? I.e., have you taken it from a spread betting account or from a CFD? It's spread bet. So is it showing a lot of numbers? Well, just we need to know so people know whether this is in dollars or in cents. Lots of numbers, right? So probably take the last two as the cents. So add in your own decimal place.
Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And we've got loads to show you after this break if you're wondering what these things are. So make sure you get your answers in for Guess the Stock. Take it away.
Steve Davies, boom, smashes it.
Done. And beating Monkey Man to it as well. Poppy coming up with NVIDIA.
Well, I'll tell you who you didn't beat, Steve. You didn't beat Angeline. She was in there, cool.
I was like, yes, yes.
I must admit, I went for NVIDIA, which was completely wrong. But yeah.
I hope Piers is watching because Piers, not so much a stock, but he has been saying more than once that he thinks Palantir is due a correction.
Yeah.
So hope you're watching, Piers.
But you see what I mean about the spread bet? It's annoying
Yeah.
because it's just a big number that doesn't make sense to me. Right. What have we got in front of us here then? What are these tennis balls?
I know, right? I was going to ask you, are we going to Wimbledon? Are we going to
great.
Wimbledon?
I mean, I would have been happy going to Royal Ascot, which I'm still annoyed that I'm not going.
What? You left them on your desk yesterday, which meant that I had loads of people coming by and asking me for these tennis balls. Thank you, Rich.
Almost sounds like it should be a prize at some point.
Yeah. Also, you've got a fancy bottle next to you. Is that a new, or your IG mug? It's an IG mug.
Oh, it's just my IG mug, yeah.
Ah, okay. Theo van Barthold, if you're listening to this, the IG Prime bag is making its way towards you. So please send us a picture when you get it. We're 3 minutes away from the opening bell. Also want to show you some of the behind the scenes yesterday. I'm just whacking up my screen there. And you
is this
can
your Twitter
see,
page?
yeah. Look, pictures of everyone getting ready, them just arriving after coming off the plane and waiting for BAT 75 luggages. We had a bit of a spruce up here in the studio to welcome them.
Brilliant.
But also producer Phil hard at work there. Look, and all the cables.
What a
You're gonna give them the real thing, guys. We're not about hiding stuff here. Right. Let's have a look at some of the key things to look out for today. We've got central banks as well from and monetary policy decisions from the likes of Turkey, Norway, Switzerland as well. And not forgetting that today US markets are closed for Juneteenth.
Now, what have we got in the United Kingdom for the movers this morning? We've got Whitbread, which is expected to perform at market, with total UK accommodation sales down 2% versus last year. Germany continues to be strong, is outperforming versus a challenging market. The 5-year outlook plan is on track. We've got Hays, that's Hays, Hays, down 2% as their pre-exceptional operating profit comes in at 45 million, is expected to be 45 million in full year 25. Hostel World up 2%. When's the last time you stayed on a hostel, Ange?
Oh gosh, wow, I can't remember, but it was a YMCA.
Is that
Not private room. Not a I had to like lock my stuff and tie it to me in the hostel.
Oh my goodness.
It was disgusting. Never again. It was a long time ago.
2018
I don't like
would be my
YMCA
last.
though. I mean, like, you know, there's a place for it, right? I believe in people being able to travel cheaply.
NCC Group down 3%. So they've had their interims, reducing revenue guidance for the full year. Still in discussions to sell escrow. So that's our moves this morning. Futures looking soggy. Down 30 basis points in the FTSE.
Also, just getting you across some of the reads from some of the big banks. Goldman Sachs saying clients continue to hedge downside with large VIX capital spread and S&P put spread buyers. Here we go. Woo.
That rung a bell for a long time. Right, so what are we on this beautiful morning? It is sunshiny outside. It is
Risk off inside.
risk off inside. Down 30 basis points on the FTSE. We're having a little bit of a slow opening here, but there they are on the downside. WPP leading them lower, down 1%. Hammerson down 1% as well. And HSBC of the big names. There's your Whitbread, down 72 basis points on those numbers.
Also, Associated British Foods down 1/3% there. Retail really very weak the last few sessions.
Not many stocks on the upside at all. Is that right? Yeah, BP. So oil yet again in focus. BP and Shell leading the leaderboard. And then a little bit of defensiveness in there as well. So a very obvious play. With now Persimmon down 3%, British Land down 2.8%. So those two obviously moving lower in conjunction as well. And then we've got IHG down 1.4%, of course, with what's going on in the Gulf and oil.
Yeah. Going ex-divvy as well, Compass Group, 3i, Experian, United Utilities, and Airtel and Persimmon as
Persimmon's
well.
ex-dividend, that's
Yeah,
what it is.
ex-divvy, yeah. Persimmon will trade without entitlement to their latest dividend payout. Vodafone has named Microsoft's Pilar Lopez as its new finance chief.
Tell us more. We've got a new CFO.
Let's have a look at how Vodafone is doing. Because when you were away, lots of people asked about an update from Rich's sickbed.
Pilar
I have to admit, I don't know.
Lopez.
Yeah, Pilar. I don't know very much about Pilar Lopez.
Here we go. Right, here's the story. Microsoft. We got a CFO from Microsoft.
I know.
Joins from Microsoft, where she served several roles at the US tech giant, including Chief Operating Officer for Western Europe, and more recently leading Microsoft's partnership with the LSE.
Maybe the connection is, the 16 years with Telefonica.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
That ticks a lot of boxes, although they have left Spain, so that's...
Taking a look at Frasers as well, it's not down by very much, but Frasers, this is Mike Ashley's, this is the billionaires Frasers Group saying it will not make an offer for Revolution Beauty. Let's have a quick look across to see whether that's having any impact at all on Revolution Beauty. Not much, nothing, not a jot.
Right,
yeah.
well, guess what I've just spotted when my gasps of, oh my goodness me, I do not believe it. Smarter Web is up another 18% at now £4.35. What they've announced this morning is another Bitcoin purchase, but that's in line. We know they can buy up to 700 now with the cash they've got. But they've announced something that is also known as an ATM, so an at-the-money facility, whereas they can, instead of doing chunky placings, as well as doing the placings, they will also be able to sell in the market, or at least their broker will be able to for them. So that's up to 21 million shares. 21 million shares at 30 pence wasn't very much. But 21 million shares at £4.30 starts to actually be quite a lot of money. So the great thing about this is that it can stop the silly price increases, right? So we saw these big jumps up, it's like 80%, and then it just feels like it's getting a little bit out of control. Having the ability to do this just manages to improve liquidity, and it also just managed to put a bit more supply there, because clearly there's just no sellers at the moment. Otherwise the price would not be moving up.
Look at those candles.
In this fashion.
What would you say to some trader friends who have taken half off and they still have another half in?
Well done. Well done, you, because that is just an astronomical performance. Excuse me, there's 220 million shares in this thing. So this just reached $1 billion of market cap. We had the CEO on 6 weeks ago of a company that was worth £30 million and it's now worth £1 billion. What is going on in this world?
I know. Oof.
He sat right there, Ange.
I know,
It's the
it must-
billion-dollar chair.
It is the $1 billion chair. If you guys want to come in and sit on the $1 billion chair, you know who to call. Call Rich.
Incredible. Right, let's have a quick look in Europe then. Anything jumping out to you?
Loads jumping out. We've got, first of all, let's get you through luxury, shall we? You look like someone that wears Moncler. Rich, do you wear Moncler?
Never purchased anything from Moncler in my life.
Moncler is, how come we can't get that there? But let's have a look at my luxury stocks, because this watch list, this might have moved the luxury makers a bit higher, but there we are. And no, it hasn't had any sort of, maybe it's not yet there, but if you look at Moncler,
How
it's
on earth
just
are
come
people
out.
meant to see that?
It's tiny, isn't it? Moncler is falling. Well, now you're seeing some sort of response. They're falling after Morgan Stanley has cut its price target.
Are you going to zoom in?
I'm going to zoom in. Here we are. There we are. Is that better? Here we are.
That's-
Ah,
No, and again. No. Exactly. So the absolute maximum it can look on screen.
there we are.
Yes, perfect.
What he can't see is now my other screen has also zoomed in to the point where I can't actually see it. But also, Saab, I believe, was moving quite a lot this morning. Let's have a look at Saab. And Saab is moving because France has signaled a deal for surveillance planes. So if you want to, I'm just going to try and get up that chart for you.
Never traded this, actually. I've traded SSAB, but never Saab.
Yeah, so, this is coming in a time when we have, of course, extreme volatility and geopolitical uncertainty in the Middle East as well. Let's have a look at the indices now. Clearly a risk-off day, but, Germany 40, deepening some of its losses there as well. Have we crossed over to German stocks, Rich?
Yes, just looking at some, European stocks now. So Total up 1.8, ENI up 80 basis points. So the oils are the winners, but the losers are Ryanair, Air France, and Adidas down again 1.2%, down to 195. So yeah, just to go through, Andrew McKelvey just paying $4.40 for some more SWC. If that's a new purchase, then yes, I think you're mad. But if it's averaging into something you've already got, I mean, you've traded this better than me. You were buying them from me at £2, I think, as I was selling them.
Yeah.
So who am I to say? But this thing is now out of control as far as I'm concerned.
Andrew, I know earlier this week you said you had you were thinking about getting back in again. Have you done so? Let me know.
Yeah, you did.
Some of the movers, Hayes shares falling 20% after it projected more than a 57% drop in annual operating profit. And we also have Eutelsat shares up around 19% after cutting a landmark framework agreement with France's Armed Forces Ministry. Lots of defense prints crossing this morning.
Righty. Okay, so we are going to now see Angeline on Tasty live yesterday in Chicago. And very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
And yeah, then my own episode, that will be going out about 9:30. So we got that on for the next 20 minutes, and then come back and join myself and Ange talking to Dylan Rattigan in Milan. We'll see you in 20.
All right, Ange, we're back.
We're back. What took you so long?
I know what took. I know. I know.
We're waiting for the cavalry, guys, counting the days, and then, yeah.
It's been a while. We haven't seen you guys since like November.
Did we say something? Did, Rich not wear enough deodorant? What was it?
No. It's not on you guys.
Oh, okay.
It's not on you guys.
Great. Phew.
But we didn't have a reason, and now we're here.
It's my parole officer.
This is Tony's.
Is what it was.
This is
My
Tony's
parole
first.
officer.
You want to tell the story? Why do you want to tell the story why you can't get on an airplane?
Okay, come on then, out with it. Why can you not get on an airplane?
So
It's actually a good story.
that's a true story. So my father had a past, and he's not allowed to fly.
Okay.
And we have very similar names. My name's Anthony William. His name was William Anthony. So every time I fly, especially out of the country, I get flagged, and I can't fly because he hasn't died yet, allegedly, but he has died, but he didn't die under his name.
Ah,
So they still think he's alive. So I get stopped.
nice. Did you get stopped on this occasion? Did you?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
not only, what is it, 67
Yes.
trunks?
It's he's just a
I'm
typical
a flight
person.
risk.
He's that,
A typical person.
is he that person? And viewers, please tell me as well. Is he that person that, always gets stopped at the border check, at the passport control?
Well, when they think he's his father, yes. I mean, that's what he says. I don't really know if that's it, but
I do get stopped every time. I mean, but, yes.
I just want to make sure.
Hopefully, you're not going to get stopped at the huge event that's coming up on Friday. Everyone's excited.
No, I'm here now. They can't stop me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, stop me now. I'm ready to go.
Last
You know
night,
the old quote: every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future.
This is true. This
Yes.
is true. That is an old
I always
quote.
thought it was a Bill Walton quote, but it turns out it was like
No. It's been around for a long time.
I know.
Probably centuries. Yes.
okay, so there are more than 700, close to 800 people coming to watch you guys and Richard.
Well, that's how many people signed up. But usually, when they find out Tony's going to be here, it gets down to like 100.
No, you'll get.
It'll be a great turnout. We had a great turnout in London
600
last in
people. It'll be
November,
fun.
and it's going to be more fun because we have a lot more people now, and it's a better facility because you read the screen.
Yeah.
And so the screen's going to be really slick, and so it's going to be great. Yeah, Friday night.
Fantastic. Loads of people still wanting to come, so we've told them to call Brit. We're kind of like, yeah, call Brit. Ahead of that, our viewers have questions. Everybody sent me
Give it to me.
questions.
Give it to me.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sure. Are we going to do this now? I thought we'd do it during the show. All right, go ahead. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Why does Tom always wear that hat? That's question.
It's a beret.
It's a beret.
They want to know if there is a reason.
No,
is
just
it
'cause-
hiding anything?
No, I have hair.
Is
My
there
hair was long.
history with the beret?
No, there's no history.
Okay.
I mean, there's
The
history.
truth of the matter is,
Do you remember him ever not having?
Oh, yeah.
yes, he never wore a beret or a hat, he never even wore a hat. He would wear sunglasses. He would take sunglasses and put them on top of his head. And when we went to do video of Tasty, which became Tasty Live, there was a reflection in the glasses, and he needed a little something as advertisement because who would want to look at that that
No,
space?
actually, I started wearing this like 25 years ago when we built Thinkorswim.
That is true.
And then I just changed the color from black to gray when we did Tasty.
Yes.
Nice.
And so it just keeps my hair back. So, I don't have to deal with like some of the
Because the babushka didn't look well. He couldn't carry it. He couldn't.
Pushkin something different. That's like scarf.
Yeah, that is
He couldn't carry that. He couldn't carry that.
cool.
And the bow made his head look even
And I
larger.
don't always wear it. Most of the time I
I've
don't.
never seen you without that beret.
It's
Oh.
business all the time. Yeah,
But
it's
do you
a
have it when you're in the shower? Like, do you still?
Yeah, usually in the shower.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
to know.
No, that's actually a trivia question. That's how he gets the hat to be that size. Because they really come smaller. I'm not kidding you. So he wears it in the shower to stretch it.
So when we
The joke on the floor would be, would you rather have Tom's head full of nickels or $1 million? And I'm telling you, it was a toss-up. It was a toss-up.
when I lost, I lose the beret every once in a while. When I lose it, I have to.
Actually, now that you say it, it is a bigger version. It is a bigger
It is
version.
than the ones they have, yeah.
But when I lose it, I have to take a basketball, like a regular sized basketball, and stretch it around, and then we
Water it.
and
Talk
then
to it.
eventually it works.
Great. Okay.
It's a lot of work. It's a
It
lot
is
of
a lot
work.
of work.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
Yes.
How did you and Tom meet?
Blind date.
Blind date.
Blind
Didn't
date.
go with it.
It didn't go well.
I could have done a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. I
Was
could
it
have done a lot
love at first sight? Was
He
it love-
traded up. I could have done a lot better.
Who made the first move? Who made the first
Who
move?
said I love you?
I think it was love at first sight. I think it was a mutual first move.
You know,
We met on a baseball diamond. No,
Playing
softball.
softball.
I thought you were going to say, like, on the trading floor or something like that.
Well, we happened to
Softball.
have traded. We happened to have traded in the same pit,
Right.
but we also were playing on the same baseball team.
Right.
In the
Softball team.
Softball team in the early '80s.
Yeah.
Okay, so both
And-
in the spy then.
Right.
Yeah.
And we needed somebody to carry the water.
And he was so obnoxious and annoying. I mean, I was like,
No.
oh my God, I can't shut. If you think you can't shut him up now,
Okay.
imagine in 1983, he wouldn't shut up.
He's not lying. He's not lying. I'm not lying. He's not lying.
He doesn't sound like a chat. You don't like a chat.
No, I would antagonize the other team a little.
He doesn't sound like a what? Chatty? He doesn't shut up.
He
Back
was
in his heyday, he didn't shut up.
He was right. That was a little different back then. I'm mature now.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Sure. Like a fine wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of wine, all our viewers who watch your shows
Yeah.
ask the same question over and over again.
Yeah.
Ange, are those cherries real? Behind Vanetta.
Oh yeah.
Real?
Oh yeah.
Great.
I wouldn't eat them, but they're totally
They're
real.
in formaldehyde.
That was from director Terrence in the Institute. That was one of the questions.
100% they're real. We bought like these big giant jars of cherries, and they're lit from the bottom, and they're totally real. But I think originally you could eat them.
Yeah,
But now,
I don't think I would eat them now.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they are real.
Yeah, they are real.
fantastic.
They're
Good to
real.
know. Good
And
to
you'll notice I stick stuff behind there.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Every one of those
What do you
jars.
stick behind there?
Well, go down a little bit further. Can you go down to the bottom row? Okay, so there's an alligator head. A viewer sent me an alligator head, so I stuck
Why?
the alligator head there. And then all the way to the left, like in the middle, there's an alligator head. There you go.
Yeah.
And to the left there is a little
You
plaque.
sent me? Why did they send you an alligator head?
I just, that was when I have a house in Florida, so they sent me an alligator head. That says the Scott Sheridan Studios. That was
Nice.
made by the whole team to represent Scott Sheridan's contribution to the studio. That little plaque.
We should give away like one of those jars of cherries and see if somebody can eat the whole thing.
No, let's not. Look, there's another can up there. So I put this.
Yeah, and someone drank all the whiskey underneath Vanetta's desk.
There is whiskey underneath the desk. I did not drink any of it.
Vanetta
I
likes
asked Ryan to
take
check for me the other day. He was like, "Yeah, it's pretty empty." And
Yeah.
someone.
The Batman sticker is there because my nickname is Batman. So
yeah.
There's a bunch of things in there. Yeah.
And last but not least, if there was one thing, this is a viewer friend called Jesse. I said, one thing you could change about each other, what would it be?
If there's one thing,
There's packing.
I wish Tom would say what he's thinking
He
and
always
not.
does. He does say what he's thinking.
No. You have to listen to what Tom is thinking to really understand what he's saying. When he speaks, he does not speak in an intelligent way.
I'm gonna edge away.
He doesn't say what he really means, so you have to decipher it. So that would be the one thing that I would change from Tom.
And
I'll point it out when he does it today.
I wish Tony would think before he speaks.
That's fair. That's fair.
That would be great.
That's fair. Well, when we started this show 14 years ago, we decided that nothing was off limits. Like, family, friends.
So let me tell you a
You're
quick.
gonna have to give a bit of yourself.
Let me tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we originally built Tasty, and this is, I joked about it before, but that we were like the first streaming service. There was nobody was streaming,
Right.
and especially in finance, nobody was streaming. And so we came up with the idea, but the idea was, we were going to hire a bunch of comedians. So we hired six different comedians. We hired 6 comedians that were at
I bet it
Second
was
City.
5, but whatever.
Second City's famous, improv and Improv Olympics, the whole thing. We had hired 6 of them, and we had our studios. And for 6 months, we tested them, talking about different things. Then we were going to pull out different.
They were going to make fun of financial
They
media.
were going to make fun of everything, and it was. They were so bad and so boring, and they were really.
They were good.
They were really good comedians as stand-up comedians go, and as improv goes. They were horrible with each other.
They didn't like each other.
There was no
There was no
communication.
camaraderie.
No
Nothing
chemistry.
Yeah, there was no
chemistry.
no chemistry. It was like
So
a
we're
big
sitting
bullshit.
behind, like in here, we're sitting behind in a production room with a glass window that can see into the studio. And we're sitting there, and we hired a guy that was a shock jock in Chicago, sports radio shock jock. And we're sitting there with this shock jock, Tony and myself, for like 6 months. And we're listening to these guys, and we're like, we can't go live with this. We cannot go live with this. Nobody will watch the show. And so we're like, he's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so we're sitting there like, and then the other guy, the Shack Jack guy goes, I know what to do. You guys got to take this over. And we're like, we don't want to be on camera. We don't, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true.
We took it over and never looked back.
You guys love the camera. You don't want to be on camera? You said you didn't want to be on camera in the beginning?
Time, there was no streaming with camera.
Yeah.
Like our thought was, well, it'll just be audio.
Cool.
But then nobody could see the screen, and we're trading, and we're talking about numbers, and it became, you know, if we were going to do it, we had to do, and it's very expensive to house the video too.
It is very expensive.
You know, Tom never thinks about money, but it's my job sometimes to, you know, rein it in.
Rein him in.
Yes.
And I heard the original studio had like gaffer tape everywhere, and things were kind of when you first started. It's not the swanky place that you have right now.
Actually, when we first started Tasty, so I'll tell you this story because it's a fun one. When we first started Tasty, we were looking around Chicago. We looked at a bunch of production studios that like TV studios had.
Oprah Studios was kind of moving. And
like
they were selling
like NBC and Oprah Studio. We looked at all these studios, and we didn't really like them. Then we walked into this hip hop studio.
Yeah.
It was a third floor walk up, and it was a really cool hip hop studio. Brownstone with guitars on the wall, and it was one of the coolest places. We walked in, we're like, we'll take it. We literally walked in and said, we'll take it. And we said, we want everything that's in here
to stay.
And all we did was we paint the studio black. It was a really cool little studio.
Oh no, you're not telling the truth. I mean, there was no video. It was only
video. It was only audio.
It was only audio. So we
built everything.
Then build out all of the video.
We stayed there for a couple of years, and then we ran out of space. And then we moved to our second studio, which we built up from scratch. And then we're in our third studio now, which we built from scratch.
And Tony did Goodfellas, right? Didn't he? Wasn't he a production assistant on Goodfellas?
No. No. On the other De Niro movie, not Goodfellas, the other De Niro movie.
A production guy who did the opening credit scene for a De Niro movie is the one who set up all the sight lines and everything else for us.
Oh, look, they're putting it up. Look.
Oh, yeah, that's the old studio. Yeah, that's the old one. Yeah,
Wow.
Yes, that's our original studio. I was a third floor walk up, and that's where Liz and Jenny and Tony and myself started.
I love it.
Beth, what else you got inside there? We had
Any pictures of the inside, Beth?
Let me look. I will look.
And then we had the second floor too.
It looks like a movie set, guys.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's right down.
It's right in the middle of the city, and you can see the
The Central Loop in the center.
It's on the north. It's in right off Michigan Avenue. It's really beautiful. It's really a beautiful building.
Did you ever get kicked out and have to sleep there?
Never. I mean, there and
Someday I'll tell you that story.
No.
So I have a confession. You ready?
Sure.
So when I came over to Chicago, I was casing your joint. I was.
Casing what joint?
My father sent you?
Your kit, your stuff, your box fresh camera equipment, your amazing for studio rooms, and everything was state of the art and super expensive. And this is like, casing it from the viewpoint of, coming from like the world of Bloomberg, where money is no object and they buy everything new, right?
Because Vaseline on the lens doesn't really work. We tried it with Tom. It was a disaster. So we had to get all the good stuff.
Super impressed when it was like, the one day when Tom was like, right, you're going to get stuff with Frank, get it shot, get it done. Like 4 people came out with all this like super, kit. And there was even someone coming to do the, checklist and 3 cameras.
You weren't even there. We had hair and makeup.
Where was the hair and makeup? I needed that.
Before that.
Oh, what happened to hair and makeup?
Dylan, when we first hired Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan Radigan.
Dylan was like,
he was a diva when we first hired him.
He was a diva.
Much different now.
He came from CNBC. So he was a diva.
When he was at CNBC, it was during the time when if you were working with them, 10 Armani suits a year. Well, the budget for
That's
10,
what they gave you?
Yeah, Armani suits a year. Obviously, that's all gone now, right? But it's also back in the time when, Bloomberg, you only travel on business, no less, and then they had their own fleet of cars. Now that's all gone too.
Oh.
Okay, that's all gone as well. But yeah, I was super impressed with your kit. It's like...
Well, if you ever want to hear a good video, listen to the one where they fired Dylan on air.
You see that one?
Oh, yeah, you can Google search it. It's awesome.
Is it better than the Eliminate one with Rich in it?
Oh, not really. Not really.
It's a close second. It's a close
Not really.
second.
He's gonna
Yeah.
kill me like that.
No, we played it.
I know, I saw it. It was on the floor outside rolling.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, but it's
No. Oh, this is the old opening of Casey Live. Banana, young banana. There's a young bat.
look at that.
There's a young Tom.
That does not look like a mixing desk.
Casey Ross, the old CEO.
You look the same
I
bat.
haven't changed.
You look the same, Tom. And that.
No, come on. There's two
That's not
Toms
the
there. Get
Really
Tasted
Get
was the
Tasted.
name of it. Yeah. Yeah. So the name, it's had a couple of names. So yeah, Get Tasted was the first one.
Right, so you're staying after the event. Have you got like a schedule of what you're doing in the UK?
Yes, I'm on a honey-do list. Whatever my wife tells me I'm going to do, I'm going to do. So we have a couple of restaurants that we're going to go to. I know you'll be. She's at tea right now with my son, so she's doing that.
Where's she going? Where for tea?
I don't.
Savoy?
I have.
Ritz?
I don't. Honestly, I don't know. I don't pay any attention to it. We did a video with Tom and Vanetta, where Tom and Britt, where Britt says, I get Tom's passport, I get all the stuff done, I get a thing, and then Tom goes, "Hi, I'm Tom." It's the same thing in my relationship. I don't do anything. I don't know where to go. I don't know what flight I'm on. Hi, I'm Tony, and I show up for that. So the
And
wife
you use
does all that.
ChatGPT to.
I use ChatGPT and I throw a credit card at it and then it gets done. That's it. We're going to catch the opening here, so we're going to take a quick 90-second break.
Yeah.
Give me some love. You did great.
Very
Good
much.
seeing you.
And
Thank you so much.
good that you guys are here.
great.
Yes, it was
Really
awesome.
excited.
We'll take a quick 90-second break and come back. We got the opening bell next. This is Tasty Live.
Bring me the next shiny new thing. Bring me the next shiny new thing.
So today we're on set filming our latest ad campaign for IG Invest. IG Invest is the latest innovation from IG. It's aimed at those who are interested in investing or maybe have a bit of knowledge but want to become more experienced. And what we've done is created a really beautiful, easy to use app, and now we've got to publicise it, and that's what we're doing today and trying to capture. So we worked on this ad campaign with Otherway, who are our creative agency. And what we really wanted to do is think about breaking down the barriers to investing. And so we wanted to think of an idea that was playful, fun, but also inspired empowerment.
So essentially, look, a lot of financial advertising can be quite dry, a little bit kind of wallpapery. And I think the idea was just to create something that was really eye-catching and kind of use that distinctive IG red, but put it in this really interesting metaphorical space where investors felt really kind of calm and kind of very effortless in what they're doing.
So my work is colorful, it's poppy, it's quite surreal, and I think this is one of the projects that is a perfect match. It's really nice to have a company that's very brave in their approach, and I think as a creative, as a potential target audience of the whole thing, I think it's going to work very well.
There were too many people to name who've worked on this project. You know, at IG, it's really important that we move at pace whilst delivering really high quality work. So we've had to have the best brains in the business on this one, and we really hope that you like the result.
It's been a real pleasure working with IG. I think ultimately as a brand, they're really keen to push things and kind of take the financial kind of advertising space somewhere slightly more interesting. So it's been a real joy for us to work with them and help them kind of get there on their journey.
Tasty Live's godfather of options, Tom Sosnoff, is grabbing his passport and taking this show international. He'll be joined by IG's Rich McDonald in London and Milan, along with special guests at each stop for an evening of live trading. It's fun, challenging and moves as fast as the market. Doors open at 5, with trading starting at 6. Come early and have a pint or glass of vino with the boys. It's totally free, but space is limited. Register at tastylive.com/events. Options just got molto interessante.
Rich, nice to see you.
We're full of coffee this morning. How are you, Dylan?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, well,
How are
I'm
you feeling?
a comment, Rich. I'm feeling fantastic. Never
Have
better.
you had a coffee yet?
No, I've decided to wait today.
What is going
You
on,
guys are
my
my
man?
coffee.
What is this like the Spanish power cut? We've had some water troubles in Italy.
There's no water on my street apparently. I woke up, couldn't brush my teeth, couldn't have coffee,
Did you piss someone off again?
couldn't take a shower. What's that?
I said, did you piss someone off
That-
again?
It has nothing to do with me. I'm a passenger on this Italian adventure.
You don't need you don't need water in 35 degrees anyway, do you?
No, God, no. I mean, I'm assuming it's not so hot where you guys are either. Down here, it's been,
Yeah.
35 degrees for 2 weeks straight.
We have 30 Celsius expected today.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
we do.
Welcome to the party.
And that's why I say Rich needs a rash top when he goes over to you in Milan because it is scorching there.
Scorching.
Yeah. I'm not
Scorching.
sure Scots do too well in that kind of heat. So have we? I hope all the restaurants are booked inside. Are they, Dylan?
No, it's only out. So it's only outdoor when it's a matter of principle.
Al fresco, darling.
Al fresco.
The Italians, under all circumstances, are outside.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
Even if you've got a sweaty Scotsman with you.
Give us an update. Give us an update of how many so far. What's already
So everything's
done.
coming together, and we're somewhere probably between 200 and 300 folks so far. It's the first time. I think this is the first ever Tasty live trading event that's not in an English native language nation, which makes it a touch more ambitious. Now we do have Andrea Vetturi joining us, who is a longtime Tasty trader in Milan native, and also happens to be one of the most celebrated figure skaters in the history of Italy. So he runs the ice. It's called Ghiaccio Spettacolo.
Whoa.
It's a ice skating spectacular kind of situation, like the ice show.
Right.
And so Tom keeps referring to him as his translator.
Yes.
And I keep saying to Tom, you're referring to one of the most successful athletes in Italian history, who also runs one of the biggest trading organizations in Italy.
Oh, wow.
Who's like Tom's biggest fan. And he's like, oh yeah, my translator. And I'm like, yeah, well, yes. In this particular instance, he's not wrong. I mean, Andrea volunteered. He's like, I'll be the translator so that he can, he is the translator, but it just sort of entertains me. I'm like, Tom, do you even know who this man is? Tom's like,
No.
it's my translator.
We had the guys in yesterday. They have landed on European soil, Dylan.
Yeah.
So we
how they looking?
Bat was about to melt, and Tom was ribbing him about how he hadn't had a shower.
There was a slight difference between the two.
Really?
One, I couldn't tell why. I think it might have had something to do with one was pampered for the whole flight in a lay down bed, got a good sleep.
Super pod.
And Tom said something about like massage was being offered as well if you were stressed during the flight.
Yeah, proper business class treatment. And then Bat was
Tony.
He was in the back.
By the bathroom in the way back.
In a
seat that wouldn't even give him 5 degrees of
movement
recline.
That's it, because he's not a big guy, so it's not like he needs.
No, he can squeeze him in anywhere.
So they were looking, and also Brittany managed to get Tom an early check-in, whereas Bat staying at a different hotel, so he didn't get an early check-in. So that was.
Oh, really?
So hence no shower.
So it's definitely a multiple classes of Tasty trader when it comes to international travel.
Yeah.
There's Tom class and then non-Tom.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I wanted to revisit your trade, which we love talking about very much early in the week. You had the go long bonds, short oil, and call your mom. How's that going?
Well, I mean, listen, the oil situation is going to require a touch of patience. I mean, it's the heat in the Middle East is no joke, as we all know.
Yeah.
But I like the long bond, and I'm back once again. I feel like every time I see Rich, I'm always talking long dollar. But I really think the dollar is as bad as it gets for the dollar, at least in the short to intermediate term. So I think that the most tempting thing is the dollar. I think rate cuts are going to be fewer later as opposed to more sooner.
Yeah.
And I think that whole thing creates a stronger dollar and I think a stronger bond. We'll see. But for sure, I think it's dollar positive.
I'd say that last night brought the market more into line with your thinking there. The correct thinking, because he was very clear, wasn't he? He was explicit. There's no cuts coming.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just think all that is super positive for the dollar. I think that everybody still has a little. I mean, you don't even see it so much in the market, but I do still think that people have a decent amount of anxiety. Reasonably, just because of the Middle East situation. But I still think that oil call spreads continue to be an appealing consideration.
And we have
just because the volatility is so jacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, to be short call spreads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm guessing what, 80 to 83, something like that. 82, 85.
Exactly. Little room, little wiggle room.
Yeah.
And half a position, because obviously the thing in the short term, this thing could get, anything is possible in the short term right now. But selling oil call spreads on oil spikes tied to geopolitical / war concerns has been my most reliable trade for the last year. I mean, this is really the first time this year that it's kicked in a real big way. But last year we had it a few times, and every time it was very reliable. So I may be a fool at this point because it's been so reliable, honestly. But I still am a true believer.
Well, and you've got a lot. Excuse me. You got a lot of taps to be turned on as well, don't you? OPEC would love to increase their production.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And
I think that was a leak joke.
What's that?
I think that was a leak joke as well. Yeah, back to OPEC. There are loads and loads of OPEC plus, members who would love to, some of them are already like sneakily, turning the taps and loosening them slightly, but they'd love to loosen it a bit more, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, also I think that the other thing that sort of helps with the dollar, which is related to oil, is because of the little oil mini spike here, it acts, if anything, as a rate. It's not a rate hike, but it creates an additional expense in the global economy. And I just think all that plus I just think you're sort of have that the old school traditional risk off type of a trade, which goes straight to long dollar, is very much in play right now.
Right. And the dollar has gained around 1%, right, against most of the safe havens like the yen, the Swissy, after the geopolitical tensions erupted over in the Middle East. If we continue seeing this, where do you think we could see, for example, the dollar basket, the Dixie, going right now? It's still around that 998.53 handle, but where do you think this might go?
I mean, I'm not, for sure, I think it could go halfway back to where it was. Let me put it that way. So like sort of right around the middle of that chart. I don't know that we're going to get all the way back, obviously, to where we were before Trump really started trying to crush the dollar. But in the risk-off world, it seems very reasonable, depending on how long risk-off lasts, that you could come right around the middle of that chart. I can't see the price point there, but right around in there.
Yeah, 104.
I think seems reasonable.
And that makes sense as well. So that's about 4%, 4.5%. I've got a put spread on at the moment, Dylan. That's it's on GBP on cable, and it's 132. 125 in a 1x2. And I just feel I feel that anything above 132 cable is just wrong. It's given us too much credibility on our currency, considering what a mess we're in at the moment as well. And I think you know things like today, Bank of England, you'll get more on that. So that.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually amazing to see that the pound has done anything, considering what a this, you know, with
Come on,
considering the situation.
you can use the word when you're coming to
No.
describe our economy. You come here enough. He complains about our public transport system, which I, tend to agree with Dylan now that I've enjoyed the Milanese transportation system. Their air conditioning works. It's on time. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. People are decent.
Goes everywhere. Your phone, you got to anyway.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I like your trade, Rich, in terms of being short the pound as a way to be long the dollar, basically.
Yeah. And that ties into your thinking as well. This kind of 4% rally in the dollar from here takes us to 110 on the euro as well. Takes us back to above 150 on the yen. Those numbers all kind of make sense.
Exactly. I mean, and again, when you think about the fact that so much of that currency decline was tied to the Trump tariff madness plus expectations of some rate cuts. And as the rate cuts fade into the future, and as Trump proves, absent any real activity as it relates to the tariffs, and you move to a risk-off macro sentiment, all that is dollar positive. Or euro negative, or pound negative, or however you want to articulate it.
Yeah, an interesting move on gold last night. Obviously, tighter monetary conditions, higher rates for longer, so gold comes lower. We're all happy with that, but it's kind of ignoring this next 24 hours to 36 hours when Trump thinks that he can, go and overthrow a regime in the Middle East that he's had problems with in both his terms. Doesn't that lead to gold higher?
Yeah, we were a bit perplexed by this move.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
We were a bit perplexed by this move, Rich and I, this morning, because doesn't all that point to up arrow for gold? But instead, you're seeing these, red candlesticks there, the last, 4 sessions, and it continues to look like it might go lower. So what's behind the move, you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I do think that, it doesn't make sense for gold to get weaker in a risk-off world. Gold is, by definition, risk-off. I think the only explanation is I just think that the behavior of the dollar, for instance, has been so weak and gold has been so strong. And because of the shift in rate sentiment and the confirmation of the shift in rate sentiment as a result of what happened yesterday. I mean, that sent the market was kind of already there, but Powell basically just confirmed where everybody was already going. And so, if anything, I would just say, because if you make this a longer term chart, we all know what gold has been doing.
Yeah.
My only explanation would be that it is a relative value judgment in a risk-off world where the current situation. Look at that. I mean, the current situation in the dollar is just on a price extreme basis. The price that you got gold on a price extreme on the one side, high side, and price extreme is probably too hyperbolic of a characterization for the dollar situation. But for sure, it's not hyperbolic for gold. So I mean that would be my only explanation that I would offer relative to gold, and so but again, it's done so much. Like I would if I traded gold, which thank God I don't, I would have been short, halfway up that, where that little red knob is, halfway up that drive. I would have been right in there short, and I would have gotten my face ripped off. So that's why I don't mess around with gold. Gold is a mystery to me.
And what do you think about that political background, Dylan? Do you think he's ready to press the red button on?
Trump?
No, do you think
I don't
it's
take him
taco?
seriously at all.
Taco, or do you think it's taco again?
I think it's full taco. I think it's a big fat taco.
Right.
See, this is this is the worrying bit, because what if it's not taco this time? Right?
I know. I have this thought.
What makes you think it is?
His pattern has been not to do what he says.
Mm-hmm.
His pattern is really to not do what he says when it comes to things that are really important, like economic policy and war. And you only get to like drop a nuclear bomb once, and there's no coming back from it. You know, the problem is, you know, he and also I think Trump really positions himself as a sort of as a madman negotiator.
Yeah.
That he wants you to believe what he like his entire thing is to sort of assert these very, again, come back to my word of the day, but excuse me, he likes to do these hyperbolic rhetorical postures. It's just, no one has ever seen someone who's the president of the United States using a social media feed to threaten to murder millions of people.
Which is another world leader.
Yeah.
And another world leader. Which is why I have to, so my only sort of impulse, and I could obviously be wrong, is to just not take it. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I was taking that man seriously.
Yeah.
There are some analysts out there that have said that he's a bit like a pub drunk threatening to punch someone's lights out, but the regulars ignore him. Is that what you think the markets are doing right now?
I think that's exactly what the market is doing right now. I think he's like a senile old man who's talking about he's punching the London Bridge. He's like it's like he wants to fight a wall. He wants to fight a brick wall. You're like, okay, buddy, you go. Good luck to you.
The thing that I can't really understand is that it's all happened so quickly. Even Israel say it wasn't our initial intention to overthrow the whole regime. So suddenly at the G7, you know, Trump's got the call, and now whatever move he makes next, they've got to have a new regime in place to install. So you've got some kind of power in Iran.
That's why you can't even take it. I mean, listen, if you want to take it seriously, who controls Iraq? Iran.
Yeah.
Iran goes, who takes over Iraq?
And Lebanon.
ISIS.
Yep.
You know, like the what people don't appreciate is actually how stabilizing Iran is in the region as the dominant force. Again, whether there's lots of things not to like about the regime, just like there were lots of things not to like about Saddam Hussein and his regime years ago. But to your point, Rich, when you knock off even the most, you know, awful, look at Libya. I mean, look at what Obama and Hillary Clinton did to Libya and the French. I mean, it's basically an open catastrophe for more than a decade now, because they wanted to, you know, it's easy to say you're a bad person and we're throwing you out. And it's like, it's very sort of, it rewards the ego. It's rhetorically very effective in politics. But what happens after you knock off the big guy? I mean, even Russia, they talk about Putin. I mean, well, you think Putin's bad, wait till you see who replaces him. You know, I mean, it just goes down the line with all these things.
Yeah.
So
I just get the feeling that kind of planning hadn't been done to suddenly.
Of course not. But I mean, the thing that's fascinating to me, and I think the reason that I, you know, am relatively comfortable with the situation, despite the absurdity of the rhetoric, is because the market doesn't seem to be worried about it.
No, they don't seem rattled at all. I mean, if anything, they just seem to, you know, keep calm and carry on, and the slow sort of trickle up is still in play. I mean,
but it's all algos now, isn't it, Dylan? So, you know, all the algos do, and all the AI does is say, okay, well, US entered Iraq in 2003. And the day that they toppled Saddam, the market bottomed and it went up from there. So we'll just do that again.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, is that there's an incredible degree of comfort with the entire situation, up to it including absolute indifference.
Were you
Remarkable.
Were you reporting on that day as well?
Yeah, I was at Bloomberg. I left Bloomberg in the middle of 2003. So that was probably the very last major news event of my career at Bloomberg, was that whole situation. Because that September 11th had really sort of kicked that whole thing off. And those years between 2001 and 2003 kind of went by in like 3 days. It's hard to, that was a weird moment in terms of all that activity. Coming back to the present situation, and maybe it's wishful thinking on my part. It's incomprehensible to me that Trump is going to bomb Tehran. But
What's interesting too is that The Guardian, I don't know whether you've seen that article, Rich, saying that Trump is holding off striking Iran because no one's quite sure if the massive GBU-57 bunker busters will be enough to take out these deeply buried Iranian nuclear facilities. So, whether or not their kit is strong enough, that's the a report out on The Guardian. So, it's all about like keeping an eye on what is being said and what's being done. And like Rich, I don't see enough out from the US side at the moment that tells me that we are in that situation yet. But call your mum, God forbid.
But I would say if
it goes bad.
Yeah, but I would say all of it is dollar positive. Right? This entire situation is good for Rich's short pound, and good for my long dollar. It just goes to that whole dollar reversal after 6 months of sort of misery for the dollar, or whatever it's been. I just think that this is a turning point for the dollar, partially because of what's going on with rates in the United States, but also partially because of the war drums that are beating in Washington, D.C., with the desire to go to war with Iran.
It'd be interesting if it hits the tapes that it's happening, then the reaction is going to be all the more startling.
I'm curious to see what it is.
Yeah, especially on a bank holiday.
What if there's no reaction?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
outside of oil. That'll be the most shocking thing, when the market's like, oh, sorry about that. Moving on.
Yeah.
I mean, the equity market has been stunning in terms of its activity and its behavior and how it's been holding up.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, and across the board, right? I mean, across the board, Wall Street. I'm putting that up for you. Same sort of landscape there, and similar thing with the Germany, the DAX, and also the FTSE.
Well, it's certainly going to give us a little bit to trade on tomorrow evening in our London show. If you're still not signed up, then you can go to tastylive.com/events. There are still tickets available. And if you fancy a trip to Milan, then do the same with Milan. You can see Dylan and I over there. And then, Dylan, we got some plans. I hear it's just me, you, and Sosnoff out on the town on Sunday night and Monday night.
What have you got planned? What have you got planned, Dylan?
Well, no, because Tom, as you know, Tom is an Instagram stalker. And so he likes to stalk around on Instagram and TikTok. And he's come into there's some very compelling videos of the cacio e pepe in the cheese wheel.
Oh my God.
So that's really his primary obsession is the pasta cheese wheel situation. And then also sometimes that some of these operations around here they'll do a tableside tiramisu assembly.
No.
Yeah.
You're gonna video all this for us, right?
I mean,
maybe.
For you, yes. For you.
I also know that Tom really likes to order He's got this thing about wanting, he doesn't like anything pre-ordered. He likes taking the menu, looking at it, and ordering for everyone.
Well, that's going to be kind of less effective here because he doesn't read Italian. So
He's got his translator, his, yeah.
I don't know if he's bringing his translator everywhere with him, though. I think that's only for the live trading event. It'd be amazing if he can convince Andrea to just walk around town with him for 3 days, translating all the time. That would be next level.
By the way, I hope all three of us realize he's sitting watching this right now. You know he's going to be sitting at breakfast in London watching this. He wouldn't miss his man, Dylan.
Right, we gotta wrap up because we are going to head into all sessions quite soon. Oh yes, that's right.
There is no all session.
It's Juneteenth today. Oh my goodness! See, this is how much I love the all sessions.
Dylan, what is this Juneteenth thing?
Yeah, it's a terrible name. What is wrong with that? The name just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Listen, it's a U.S. federal holiday in it is in honor of the end of slavery. I do believe it is a sort of it's a solemn and significant piece of American history to honor those and all the aspects of all the horrible aspects of slavery. Basically, so that's what it is.
Wonderful. Well,
so calling it a holiday, it's one of those holidays that's not really a holiday.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Memorial Day, where you're like, well, what's the holiday for? You're like, it's for everybody who died in the war. You're like, well,
yeah, bit tricky.
Not exactly Christmas.
We do feel that we've been keeping you slave this morning with no water, no coffee. Thank you for letting us imprison you.
But I'm giving you all I got here. I'm going to try to find a cup of coffee and a glass of water after this.
Right, Dylan, we're going to love you and leave you because right after this, producer Phil, you've been talking in my ear. We've got part 2 of the Tasty Special with Tom and Bat, so stay right where you are.
See you Saturday, Dylan.
All right.
McDonald's. No.
Tomas, we are back, my friend. You know what that means. We're joined by another special guest. Go ahead, Sadnov, introduce him. He is your Gumara.
Well, don't say that in front of Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan's not going to be happy at that one.
That's right. In Milan. First of all, Rich, everybody. Rich. Big wild hand for Rich. Rich, everybody. Rich. In Milan, when you're working with Dylan, because I will not be there, and you'll be handling Tom for me. There is going to be that Irish. What is that Irish ring that people wear?
The cladder ring.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So Sadnov is going to give one of you that ring, either you or Dylan Radigan.
It's like the Lord of the Rings across here.
Do I have to? You're going to have to, Sadnov. It's about time. You have to choose. Can't be on the fence forever.
And
Rich is looking good to you? What's your
You are cranky today. I tell you what, it's easy seeing.
I'll tell you something. Rich brings food.
Rich did bring food. He brought chocolate.
Dylan's not a good food
I love
bringer.
chocolate.
But yeah, it's easy seeing who flew in coach. I'm saying, one of you is throwing out some aggression here.
American has now in business class, they have people that give you massages when you're just, like when you get a little tight.
Deservedly so.
Yeah.
If you're going to achieve that kind of standard, then
You can get one.
How's the hotel, Tony?
My hotel is nice, really nice. Yeah, really nice. I like it a lot. I'm in the Soho area there. Walked around a little bit. Haven't been there in quite some years, probably about a decade or so.
And so you and your wife are in one room, son in the other?
Not in London. In Paris, we will be.
This is going to be
in
great.
London, we couldn't get.
It's going to be great.
So your dad, shut up! I can't take it. Dad, it's the worst begging I've ever heard. I'm begging. Dad, you're embarrassing me.
Your 15-year-old, 16-year-old son has to share a room with you and your wife.
In London, yes, that's the way it worked out. Yes.
Torture.
Yes.
For who? For him?
Yeah. And the room, I'll be honest with you, it has it only has it's kind of a cool avant-garde hotel. It only has like a curtain for the shower and stuff. So like, you know, you can push the curtain back and you can see in.
Oh, that poor kid.
Très romantique.
Not this time.
He's going to be traumatized.
Yeah.
Tell him I've got a spare room.
I would, you know what? I'm not going to do to him what I did to my first, Nick Batista, who's on the show quite often, had the same type of scenario. We had to share a room when I was married the first time, and Nick was about his age, a little bit younger, probably around 8 or 9. I made them sleep in the bathroom. I did. I made them sleep
in the bath.
It was a big bathroom, like this one's a big bathroom too. So I said, you'd be more comfortable in there.
There's options.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, but I'm going to be very careful what I say here, because I know that it's up to you gents what I end up doing on Friday night at this event that we're going to. So I haven't heard what my role is yet.
So far, this is the best coffee I've ever had. So thank you very much for bringing in the coffee all day.
You're
excellent.
So far, you're doing a great job. We're thinking you might make a really good MC.
Yeah, no, but seriously, that's what we were talking about. You're going to MC the place. Yeah.
I have MC'd at about 4 weddings so far, because I'm, as you already told everybody earlier, I am always the bridesmaid, never the bride. So 4 MCs so far. And
who MCs a wedding? You mean you
best man?
No, that's not what you're saying. You mean you've given the talk?
So you introduce all the speeches. Maybe this is just Scottish weddings.
That's Scottish weddings.
So yeah. It's more of a party at a Scottish wedding.
Yeah.
So you've done this before. So you see now something we don't.
You've never married anybody, have you?
No.
No, I mean you've never given the
ceremony. No.
Yeah. No. So you're talking about MC, little.
Usually the father gives away the bride.
No. Usually it's like, it could be like religious. It could be a friend. It could be whatever. The father doesn't usually.
Be religious?
Well, the father, you could have like a priest or whatever, a rabbi.
Priest gives away, the rabbi gives away. How many of you been with a priest or a rabbi giving? Hey, I got a nice one for you. This one, you're gonna love this one.
Right now, the father usually doesn't do the ceremony.
No, but the father walks down.
That's not what we're talking about.
This is when they say never meet your heroes, right?
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, he's saying he MCs a wedding. Who MCs a wedding in the U.S.?
The best man usually gets up and says something.
No. He's talking about MCing it. He'd be the guy that introduces the best man to give the speech. Listen.
So because of the time difference here, when you guys do the closing bell, then it's about 8:30 in London, and I'm sitting having a nice glass of wine, relaxing into the evening, watching it. And, you two are nice and civil with each other. Now the desk is only 1.5 meters apart. These two are ready to go. They are.
Did you notice? See, I backed off. I backed off because I'm tired. But did you notice how he said, well, the priest or the rabbi gives them away? Then he turned it all around to the MC. But I let it go, because his name's on the door. I let it go. God. You don't realize it, but I let it go.
Did you see it as you came in the London office? It's up there.
It better not be. You better take that down real soon.
So I've had the pleasure of interviewing not only Tony and Tom, but also Dr. Jim.
You poor bastard.
Your very own son, and also Scott Sheridan. So we've done a series of get to know the Tasty crew. Yeah. But I don't know who to interview next. Julia? I'm kind of scared of Julia, I must admit.
Oh, Julia would be a good interview. Vanetta would be a good interview.
For me, though.
Vanetta?
You haven't done Vanetta yet? She'd be a great.
She's not too clever.
Interview. You can do Beth. Beth from behind the scenes. What did he say?
I would not repeat it. Yeah, Beth. We need to get Beth
behind
on.
The scenes would be good. So maybe Garrett. Garrett's from production. He's been around. I think he was number 1.
You need fun people. Garrett's not. There's fun to interview.
Garrett, it's 14 years down the drain.
That's not fun to interview. They don't give up any dirt.
They would.
There's been some great dirt discs so far.
They will now.
You want to interview fun people at Tasty? You got to interview like Todd McCarthy on the trade desk.
Oh, Todd would be. Would be great.
There's a couple people.
Would be great.
Boring. You got to get fun people.
TP.
No. You scare too many people. TP you don't want to do.
So TP and I had about a 30-minute call one day, and he was teaching me, some of the Tasty platform before you came to London last night. And he says, yeah, Sosnoff and I, we've got a great respect for each other. Our respect goes as far as we both know we don't like being in the same room at the same time.
That's pretty true.
It's funny because, so another original TP story. So I hired TP in 1999. He was at a firm that was building option analytical software. Do you remember that name of that firm? Back then, it was the firm that May Brothers started. I forgot the name. Anyways, option. A lot of traders on the floor used it. It was professional software. It wasn't retail stuff. Right. And he was there, and I was like, I talked him into moving from New York back to Chicago, where he went to grad school at University of Chicago. So I talked him back to come here. So TP and I wrote a lot of stuff together, like a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. So at one point,
was it O'Connor?
No. About one point, we're about 2 years into the whole Thinkorswim building it, and we decided, because we had already written some software, we're cranking. We're going to write a book. Him and I are going to write a book, and we're like, but he's a very good writer. And I had good stories.
He's an excellent writer.
He's a good writer. I had good stories. I thought we're going to have so much fun writing a book. We decided, you know what? It's going to be hard for the two of us because neither of us have ever written a book before. So we're going to hire a professional ghostwriter. Yeah. And so we searched for this. We got the name of some guy from Omaha, Nebraska, or somewhere in Nebraska. Flew him to Chicago and said, for the next 2 weeks, we put him up in a hotel. We said, for the next 2 weeks, you're going to sit here and we're going to tell you all our stories. You're going to write the book. Okay. True story. We locked ourselves in a conference room. We were there for 12 hours. At the end of 12 hours, we couldn't get through the first story on the first page. Okay. Oh, no. And we told the guy, go, listen, you're going back to Omaha tonight. And this book is over. It's never going to happen. We are not getting to 250 pages. We can't even get to one.
Wow.
And it was over.
Brilliant.
But TP did have the highlight of his writing career when he was the ghostwriter for an article that I used to write every week for a publication that we would throw out there. But it was really, I would give TP the idea and he would write the whole thing. Because you can see I can't even speak English, nevertheless, right? So TP, I got to give him a shout out. He really did a great job. Fantastic. So yeah,
I still owe him
it was the highlight of his writing career. He always told me that. He always thanked me for allowing him.
So my favorite TP story is we're sitting around one day. It's a Friday, or it's like a Thursday or whatever, and we're sitting in the office and we were just building platform and all this stuff. And TP doesn't talk a lot about his personal life or any of this kind of stuff
at all.
So he goes. I said, well, we'll finish this up on Monday. He goes, I might be a little late on Monday. All right, whatever. So he comes back Monday and I go, and he comes with this like 3 or 4 days later and he comes back. I go, where were you this weekend? Because he doesn't usually come in late. He goes, TV. I went away. I go, what do you mean you went away? You don't go away. He goes, I went away and I went to Hawaii. I go, you went to Hawaii for like 4 days? You went to Hawaii on a Thursday, came back on a Monday? I go, why the hell did you go to Hawaii? I got married. I'm like,
oh, no way.
Do you
think he was dating anyone?
Didn't even know he had a girlfriend. Spent every minute of every day with him. Had no idea.
And no invites for you guys.
No. I mean, he knows that. He knows, right. He knows not to do that. Right.
He knows better than that.
We don't like to go to...
Traders should never invite other traders to weddings. It's horrible.
No.
I did see the pictures of Beth's weddings, though. You guys
went to that. Yeah, went to that.
Yeah, I had to go to Beth's wedding.
I think
I had to go.
That was the picture that drew an F-bomb out of you, wasn't it? On air.
We did show it on air. Yeah, we showed it on air. Yeah. Beth's wedding was fun though. You had a good time.
It looked a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a good time at Beth's wedding.
Tom hates weddings.
I mean, as good a time as you could have at a wedding. Yeah, I'm not a good wedding person. Weddings, bar mitzvahs. I mean,
Francis, who does the chat room, is in the picture.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's still a wedding. Weddings are weddings.
Yeah, you're gonna have a few years to wait till you get the invite to mine, I think.
You?
It might be in Chicago. Who knows?
That's right.
The one thing you and Dylan have in common is
no, Dylan's been more inclined to.
No, Dylan's inclined to get married, but not stay married.
Right.
Like.
Okay. It's too expensive for a Scotsman.
Yeah, well, Dylan has this unique ability to find people that either don't speak the same language and don't live in the same country and can't travel across borders. So he's worked it out. Dylan's protected himself quite well. He's going to kill me, Pete. He's going to kill me.
The other story that came out was
I got one more Dylan story because we're on the subject of marriage. First time Dylan gets married, we're sitting around and he said the same thing. He goes, you know what I did this weekend? I go, no, I have no idea. He goes, I got married. And we're like, you got married? I didn't even know you were dating somebody. Just met her. She's the best, blah, 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 blah,
Changed
blah.
my life.
Changed my life. Greatest thing ever. I go, how long have you known her? He goes, like a couple weeks, whatever. He goes, the whole thing. So we don't say a word, right? I mean, congratulations. I give you a week. I give you a month before it's over, whatever. But still, he goes, so we're on the road together. Remember, we're on the road together.
I remember that.
And so he just got married. So he decides he's going to take her on the road with us.
Right.
Because we were in Texas doing a show.
At the time, we had a no spouse.
We had a no spouse rule. But we never take, he breaking all the rules this week. Anyway, so there's no spouses. It's Liz, Jenny, me, Tony, we're on the road with Dylan.
True.
And this woman, his new wife who shows up there. We were all curious to see who would marry Dylan. She didn't speak a word of English. Okay. He didn't speak a word of the language, whatever it was.
Whatever language. You didn't even find out.
They couldn't say a word to each other. I'm like, oh, this makes sense now.
They spoke the language of love.
This makes sense.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Next month, where is she? Oh yeah, it didn't quite work out.
So Dylan does our London show every Wednesday morning, and it's a barrel of laughs. So I can't wait to meet him. I haven't met him in person. First time meeting Big Bat here in person.
Mm-hmm. No.
So it's face to face.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Dylan does the show. Yeah, Dylan. Yeah. Oh, Milan's going to be great. Yeah. Yep, Milan is going to be just awesome.
And we're flying over Saturday. So what have you guys got in store tomorrow? Because Royal Ascot's on, which of course is where the King's horse racing. So I did wonder if you're off to that.
I didn't know anything about it. I am not.
Where's that?
It's only about an hour outside London.
Oh, that's too much work for me. Yeah. I am doing a TV show in the morning. And I'm doing a couple of interviews during the day.
Right.
They don't.
I have to carry your bag again.
They don't get a lot of celebrities over here,
Especially ones with those stories to tell.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we got to do some stuff, but it's gonna be fun. I mean, Friday's gonna be great. If anybody hasn't signed up yet, you can still sign up at tastylive.com/events.
Got a live trading show for you Friday. Got to think about what we're going to. Yeah.
tastylive.com/events for Friday night and tastylive.com/events for Monday night in Milan at Earth with an H. Have you been to this place?
No.
Oh,
never. No. I've heard good things.
And we'll be at Fabrique in Milan.
Beer? Did I hear beer being served?
Oh, yeah, we serve beer.
So the day that the tariffs came off and we had that huge rally, was it 300-point rally, 400-point rally?
On the S&P, sure.
So on our London show in the morning, I had bought some 0 DTE call options.
Sweet.
On the Spiders. But I said, if we close at 5,400 tonight, I'll buy you all drinks to all the viewers, right? Of course, they were never going to close at 5,400, right? But it was something like 100 times payoff. So of course, next day I come in and feeling all clever.
Puppy chested.
Sure, I'd said this thing, and so they're holding me to it. So so I've invited them all along on Friday night and said that.
Look at you, man!
The bill
for you. Good for you. That's great.
Well, nice thing, when we did the show back in November, when we did it at smaller venues because we were doing some small cities.
I wasn't there.
We
weren't there, so the crowds weren't coming.
So the screens weren't as clear. They were digital, but they weren't as clear. They were harder to read. Mm-hmm. So we decided we'll serve as much alcohol as we can before, so people think it's them, not us. And it was a strategy that kind of worked.
So you're gonna stay with it. You rolling up some puts on your 0 day now?
I didn't, and I missed it. And I mean, SPOOs rallied up 30.
They are up 30 handles. NASDAQ up 112. Russell up 21.
Yeah,
Dow up
I mean, I
240.
completely missed it.
Volatility making me look like a big liar, down 80 cents. I don't know
I
if
told you volatility was going to kill today, but I missed the making the necessary adjustments. And yeah, the 0 day, the zero trade, it's not going to work when you rally 30 handles.
Not yet. Not yet. Hasn't worked yet.
Hasn't worked yet.
It's a long day.
It's a long day. Show some intestinal fortitude, Sadno. All right, you ready to take a quick 90-second break? We're going to keep you in the studio, right?
I think we got some phone calls.
Oh, good. We'll bring the real talent, Angelina, in also.
Hey, Beth, light up the phone lines. Let's get everybody to
855-238-2789 or 855-BE-TASTY. The number will be below in just a second. Please give us a buzz. We'd love to hear from you. I got 4 or 5 lines open. Light them up. Besides that, we'll take all your questions, comments, concerns, features you'd like to see on the platform. Let us know. Everything is open book. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, or jokes about the Brits.
Or jokes about the Brits. No, never. Actually, Sadnov said I'm not allowed to, Vanetta said I'm not allowed to speak in a British accent.
Oh, because you know why? Here's the problem. His British accent is
just like my Italian accent.
Italian is Indian. Whatever you name it.
Japanese,
Every
Taiwanese.
He is the exact same. You saw Oliver when he was young, and every single accent is the same.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
There is.
We'll take a quick 90-second break. Give us a buzz. 855-238-2789 or 855-BE-TASTY. We're back in 90 seconds. Let's take you live.
Damn. Wow. Long live the trader nerd.
Man, you're a turd.
Trade junkie.
Hey, it's fun, see? Tom and Tony in the morning.
Tomas, we are back, my friend, and we're joined by Angie and Rich. Thank you so much for coming in the
Look how
studio.
good that looks on the screen. I like it.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Crackerjack production team.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here, kind of making sure that we're kind of far apart in case these two get.
No. Never. Tom's not.
You guys ever fight on air
like that?
We never fight in there, do we?
Oh, you guys are like
We've had a debate. We've had a debate.
You debate.
Yeah.
Or she just winds me up.
I do. Yeah.
On purpose.
It's quite easy actually. Tell him that his Links Africa is running out.
So that's Axe for you guys.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Vanessa said your 15-year-old son uses it. I still use it now.
Yeah.
Tell him he's got the wrong time on an economic print.
Mm-hmm. The one time they changed PC inflation from 8:30 till 10 a.m.
They changed the time.
They changed the time
with the announcement. Mm-hmm.
Then I swore, I bet my whole life that no, it's definitely 8:30. PC's always at 8:30. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And they went no.
Mm-hmm. You got it wrong?
Yeah.
It happens. Don't worry. Tom gets corrected all day long on the show. It's fine. You'll be fine. Hey, 855-238-2789 or 855-BE-TASTY. That's the phone number below. I'd love to see the UK and the whole nation here represent by some phone calls. Of course, we'd love to hear from you from the U.S. and everywhere else.
No questions off limit anywhere.
No questions off limit. No questions off limit. Give us a buzz. Still got 4 or 5 lines open. Love to hear from you. Sadly, if you had a little bit of a rally here in the market, we were just talking about a moment ago. Even the S&Ps are up just under 30, I believe, right? 32. Sorry, just over 30. I apologize.
Man, you don't have a big screen?
I don't have a big screen. My eyes are tired.
Yeah. I think you guys must really miss your screens in Chicago because yours and Tom has this rule: no one sits at your desk when you're not there. No one touches your screen.
Nobody touches my
Isn't this a
stuff.
bit too small for you?
What? Yeah, it's a little small. To do the show, it's a little small. Yeah. But I got LASIK a couple years ago, so my eyesight's perfect.
Ah.
Yeah.
And you have not. Yeah. I still remember.
You got LASIK on one eye, didn't you? Did you do both eyes? Oh, you did both of them, but you only paid for one, right?
No. What would I pay for one eye?
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't work.
I remember Scott saying he used your screens and then realized that he should never have been in the car with you driving because he's like, oh my God, if you can't see.
Horrible driver.
Oh my God. I am probably...
Are you a bad driver?
No.
He's a horrible driver.
When I was a kid, I drove a truck in New York City. as most people know. And no, I'm an exceptional driver. I could be an Uber driver if I had to be.
Is this why you sold your Tesla?
No, I sold my Tesla because I hate Elon Musk. I didn't sell my Tesla.
You loved him, now you hate him.
I loved him a long time ago. Absolutely hate him now. You'll never see me buy another Tesla.
Oh, you'll change your mind. just
Never
like the
in a
weather.
million years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nope. Nope. I am, once I make up my mind, done.
Are you recording this?
Let's go to. I'm not going to support him. I mean, not him, and it's silly. Donnie and Doreen, Black Shoals, Florida. You better have a math equation for me. What's up?
These are your boys.
These are my boys?
Sure.
Florida.
Hello.
Donnie, Doreen. Oh, what's up,
Hello.
guys?
Hello, it's Donnie and Doreen calling in from Black Shoals, Florida. I cannot believe
I was wondering what happened. You haven't heard from you in a while.
Well, we've been busy. We got the new double wide, because we've done so good in Tasty. We just
There you
love
go.
watching
Good. We're
Rich.
downsizing, huh? We're downsizing.
It's been really early over there. What time is it in Florida?
Oh,
Well,
no.
in Black
Florida's only 5
Shoals-
hours difference.
Black Shoals, we got a little saying down here that says we got the formula for happiness in Black Shoals. But most importantly, I am so tickled pink to be talking to you folks over there in the UK. All I know about the European folks is what I read in My Fair Lady and Mary Poppins. And we sure would appreciate if we could hear you folks say the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Absolutely.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. How's that,
you just
Doreen
made my
and
day.
Donnie?
Donnie, I'll give you the Scottish version because I'm actually originally from north of the border. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
There you go.
Oh my God, Doreen just fainted. Doreen just fainted. Thanks
That's a
a lot.
good
You guys
version.
have a great show.
Bring out the whiskey.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. 855-238-2789 or 855-BE-TASTY. That's the phone number to call. Give us a buzz. Love to hear from you. Still got 4 or 5 lines open. Sadnov, even the S&Ps are up 34. NASDAQ's up 120 and change. Oil's actually down $1.70 or so. Ivy rank is down to 89 as foretold. I told you if oil goes lower, Ivy rank is going to go lower.
Oh
It's
my God,
moved
you're
by-
gifted.
It's moved by
You're
almost
gifted.
20 handles.
You're gifted.
Can I get
Prize.
shout out something? Is there anything?
You can get anything you want. Let's take a look at crude oil. Oh, yeah, we got...
Down $1.56, trading near its lows.
Yeah. Question, are we going to see some volatility on Friday afternoon when we're live on stage?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Going
I mean,
into
Yeah, but then it's a holiday on Thursday.
Yes, you have a holiday tomorrow in
It's
the US.
kind of tough around lunchtime. I will tell you that much.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough around lunchtime. So, but we'll see. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we definitely we'll make it. I would think that you're going to get some movement. I don't know if you're going to get that in volatility though. Like the market, you might have some. If we get an up move, obviously volatility is going to get creamed. But if you get a downside going into after the holiday, I would even say volatility contracts a little bit there. I think volatility's got to contract into the weekend a little bit.
Yeah, it won't matter for what we want to do.
Yeah.
It won't matter.
For the show, you mean?
Have you got a few trades in mind?
40.
Nice.
Yeah. But we're going to tweak them a little bit tomorrow.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because the ones last year worked really well.
I know. The best
Long
one
euro.
was long Boeing.
Yeah.
And the contrarian Neo as well. You said it had fallen too far, and the Alibaba.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Became good.
All those worked. Yeah. All the contrarian plays from last November worked. But it took too long. Like it wasn't overnight. It took a month. Yeah.
It's still going.
Yeah, no.
Kind of like this SPX trade you have on. It's going to take a little bit longer than you anticipated.
That's your fault. I mean, I didn't like that trade to start with. I only like winning trades, Tony. Losing trades are something that
I'm familiar with.
Like his FX one today from the ATM. That one's going to take a long time.
That's right. That is right. That is right.
mean, you'd think he's like a world traveler. Like, I mean, he's been all over the place, and he's
But he gets stopped at control. Gets stopped at every point.
Yes, I got stopped at the airport, but I got the money because my wife asked me to do it. It's happy wife, happy life. You know this better than anybody, Saz.
Because I'm going to Miami some point this year, so I could have given you
I'll give you cash right now.
Yeah,
We get that's like a crypto exchange. That's like we're doing.
OTC.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
Exactly.
cut out the middle
Exactly.
person.
I like it.
If you're going to go to Miami, now's the time to go.
Yeah.
Because the British pound is rich relative to the US dollar. Last time we were here, the British pound was like 112, 113.
Wow.
Now it's like 135. I mean, it's a huge difference. Yeah.
And to stay in the Fontainebleau for that.
Yeah.
I've been to Fontainebleau. You like it? It's nice. They just redid it. Cocoa Beach, Florida. Mark the Trainer. Mark the Trainer. What's up, my man?
Oh, guys, how you doing?
Doing good.
Oh
Mark.
my! Hey,
what's up?
Now we're classing up the show.
Easy, Mark.
No, I'm just saying.
How's it going? What are you up to, Mark?
He's walking on the beach
You
right now
might have
looking
met
for
my
quarters.
Angelina. You might have met my son. My son is Quentin. I don't know if you met him when you went to Chicago or not.
We did, and he was so much fun. We went to the Sea boat together. Please send him my regards.
Okay. Wait.
It was fabulous.
The apple falls very far.
Hey, Tony, it must be nice.
The apple falls in a different state from this tree. All right.
How is he? All good?
I wouldn't know. It's not like Tony, who works with his son, who he gets to see every day. I get that phone call once a week. You know, Tony, uphill both ways in the snow, you give your life to your kid, and you end up getting a phone call once a week, man. I don't know.
Once a week ain't bad. I mean, from a distance,
Yeah, he seemed very happy when I.
Yeah, you
when
did
I
good. You did good. He did good.
Seemed very happy.
Yep.
Now, if you
And
guys
he said
ever
he'd
come
like to be
here,
on the other side of the glass.
well, I'll tell you what. We'll see how he does. Obviously, you guys are a little different than Tom and Tony, so I'll push them towards that end. Oh, since you got Tom and Tony over there, why don't you keep them so we can bring up these new tasty trade guys and really make the show classy?
Definitely a consideration.
Be careful what you ask for. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get that all next week. So yeah, you'll definitely have that for sure.
Careful what you wish for. All right, Mark, ready to go.
Okay, you guys be well, and great show, great meeting you guys. Hope
Thanks,
to
man.
see
Thanks,
if you
Mark.
ever come this side.
Thanks.
Bye.
Cheers, Mark. Enjoy the beach.
Cheers.
Beaumont, Texas. I got Peanut.
Those things,
Oh, the metal detector.
metal detector.
One of those things.
I got a
things. One of those things. College educated.
So I really trade weekly.
What's up, Peanut?
Oh wait. Nothing much. So I really trade weeklies and stuff. I'm getting in. I think I did a segment on this, but I don't know for sure. I think it might be in the archives. But on the weeklies, don't y'all be trying to roll them on Wednesday or Thursday? You don't want to let them.
If you're talking about rolling weeklies.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You don't want to hold it to. You don't want to wait to the end. So if it's a weekly option, you want to roll at the middle of the week. It's the same logic that applies to 45 days, 21 days. It's the same thing. If it's 5 days, 2.5 days.
Okay.
Huh?
That's really my question.
5 days,
and
2.5
days. Yeah, you wouldn't be selling, not selling, but you wouldn't be selling into like a meeting because markets swing too much. I mean, the premium is good, but you wouldn't want to sell into a meeting or a big decision with it.
That's up to you.
Remember, volatility is going to expand. Listen, volatility expands for a reason, right? It just doesn't do it because it's a Monday or the day ends in a Y. I mean, it expands because there's some known, like an announcement or something like that. I prefer to stay away from earnings announcements, but I don't shy away from Fed announcements or anything else like that, especially in indices. you got a Fed announcement in an SPY, a Qs, or an Apple, not going to affect it as much. So for me, I don't shy away from that, Tom.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I stay with the position. I think you're good, Peanut.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's
You
all.
got it, man.
All right, man.
Good luck
Take
to you.
care.
Yep, go ahead. Yep, you're welcome. Thanks. Welcome. 855-238-2789 or 855-BTH. That's phone number. Call. Give us a buzz. I know we have a little bit of a lag here in the connection, so I apologize. Do you have a smile on your face? What do you want to say?
No smile.
Frank's wondering if you've had any crumpets yet.
Ooh, have I
All
ever
we've
had
had is airline food right now.
No, but
Yeah.
are you asking if I've ever had a crumpet?
No, I think it's on this trip he's asking.
No, we just got here.
Yeah.
So no. No, we have not had a crumpet
I
yet.
thought maybe business lounge at Heathrow would have taken you in.
They might, but we weren't there yet because we were coming in. So you don't, no. But that's on the way out.
While other people were getting their bags, I thought you might get looked after especially well.
Well, when other people were getting their bags,
we also were getting our bags.
Yeah,
We had to sit there and
you're
wait.
waiting for your bag.
Yes.
yeah, it took about
My wife and my kids. Don't put all the blame on me.
I'm very disappointed the two of you didn't do a second series of one of the funniest videos you've done recently. When a viewer asked, "Do you worry about your trades and getting hacked when you're on a plane?"
No.
And then you guys said,
No.
we're worried about getting.
The hacker would trade better than him on the plane. He's the only person that hopes somebody hacks in there and just starts pushing buttons. Wow, look at this guy.
I've never seen or heard of that. Now I
have
have
never
had
either.
right. I have had people's computers get compromised from someplace else.
Or like Rich looking at your passport.
Something like that, or anything else like that. But I've never.
I have yet to see one person on an airplane
know what you were doing.
Have any idea? I mean, you can see anything you want, but no idea what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People have asked, "What is that ding?" I don't mean to. I meant to turn it down, but I didn't. But that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were getting a few looks at the train from Manchester to London, weren't we?
Oh yeah. We did planes, trains, and automobiles last year.
Yeah, stuck in that taxi for about 2.5 hours for a 45-minute journey.
I came 3 miles and it was 35 minutes.
Well, welcome to London.
It's really, really busy. Yeah.
I didn't believe it when the Uber said, give you the time. I mean, I saw it was 3 miles.
Well, Chicago's kind of like that sometimes, but not as bad as London. Nothing's as bad as London. The weird thing about London is every street's 20 miles an hour speed limit.
It's crazy.
And it's crazy. So you can't do anything. There's nothing.
The Uber driver said they're talking about going to all autonomous cars and getting rid of the Ubers. I don't know how you're going to be able to do it in your streets with
the black cabs in the city. The black cabs are the worst.
I like that black cab.
I'll tell you why.
Why do you hate them?
First of all, I like the space in them, okay? Here's what I hate.
All right.
Here's what I hate.
Okay.
They roll down the window and they ask you where you're going.
Yes.
Like when I was getting cab to come here just to the show, the guy rolls down. I go, where are you going? I told him the address. He goes, I don't really think. He goes, I was going to go home after this, so I don't really want to go there. And then he goes, and then he checks his time, how long exactly, and he goes, all right, I'll take you. Favor.
Yeah.
I'm like, that drives me crazy. They won't let you in the cab until they roll down the window and ask you where you're going.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, autonomous vehicles, they don't do that.
Yeah, but how are they going to do it in these streets? These streets are too narrow. They got bicycles everywhere. Like even the ones that are just like storage bicycles, like they're like
it's gonna be years off.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Totally.
Not going to be soon.
Said 2026 is what he was telling me. Guy was his Uber driver for 6 years.
Good luck with that. I mean, if you think this is bad, like country lanes, no, I mean,
I don't know how you can do it. I don't know.
There are some weird streets, including the street that this office is on. It's come a little, one way, narrow, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The 20-mile-an-hour thing is not to slow people down, right?
I don't know what it is.
It's to get people like me. I've had to pay so many fines, and all my friends as well.
So it's all about collecting money?
Yes, it's a tax. It's all about, and some roads now, it's like you cannot drive between 4 and 4:30 p.m. But by the time you see that sign, you've driven into the zone, into that one.
And they don't really actually. It's all electronic.
Yes.
They just send you the ticket.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Nobody likes that, Thomas. Nobody. You're not allowed. Nobody likes that. No.
We only have one.
Every time I go to
We only
visit
have
him at his
one
house, I
street
get
in Chicago. It's near my house.
Yeah.
And every time, every time I
Get sneaked every time.
Every time. Every time. Every time.
Well, hopefully we can get you to this restaurant tomorrow night.
Oh, you will
time.
for sure.
That's
No
gonna
doubt
be
about it. I'll be there for sure. And I'll be with my family, so you get to meet them too. You can see all the horrible things Sadnov has been saying about them are untrue.
Never said anything bad about them.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And this is your favorite restaurant? Is Julia's favorite restaurant in London?
No, I've only been there once, but I'm not the one we're going to.
Yeah.
Who picked it? Who picked it?
The time I went, somebody recommended it to me that was one of our viewers. Somebody who lived in London recommended it to me.
Yeah.
So I went there. It was great.
And who's taking you to that posh one today, Palomar?
A buddy.
It's really expensive. You know, search it up and instantly I saw lobsters. Are you invited?
No. But I'm staying right there, so I'm just going to show up.
Crash it.
I have a buddy that lives in London. So
Hey, what happens in London stays in London, Sadnov. Hey, I got to take a quick 90-second break, Sadnov. You do you. It's okay. We're going to take a quick 90-second break. We're going to come back. You know, we got Liz and Jenny. You know where they are. You actually, you've been to the...
I haven't been yet.
Oh, you haven't been. You've been to the floor of the
It's
SIBO, right?
amazing, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you got to try it too. That's where we all started our careers. But they broadcast right from the floor of the SIBO, so you want to check that out right now. Where options really started. Check it out. Back in 90 seconds. Take the live. Peace. Thank you, guys.